Hi Year 6 and welcome to Tuesday's Maths. Today's Christmas Maths is going to have you plotting some coordinates. So I am going to do a quick video tutorial today to help you to plot coordinates in 1 quadrant and 4 quadrants, as we have not done this yet this year, and I'm not sure whether you got to it in Year 5 or whether it was done during lockdown. So to get you ready to plot your Christmas coordinates, have a little watch of this tutorial. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is work only in one quadrant. So it's got 2 lines here and it's got 1 grid. This is 1 quadrant. You've got a y-axis and an x-axis. Okay, now to describe the coordinates, you have to look at your x coordinate, look at the number along the x line, and then look at the number along the y line. You can remember to do x first by thinking you have to go along the corridor before you can go up the stairs. So that's how I remember it. Along the corridor first, then up the stairs. This number and then this number. So if you can see on my screen, I have got 2 little coloured spots. So if I want to talk about the coordinate for that spot, I'm going to have to find it, then I track down, I take my x number first and then my y number. So if I want to say where the blue spot is sitting, then I'm going to look at the x first. So blue is at 4 on this axis and it's at 3 on the y. So I put it inside brackets, 4, 3. That's how I write coordinates. X-axis first, then y. If I look at my brown spot and I try to describe where that one's sitting, I look at x first, so I track down 7 on my x and then 10 on my y. So I can describe that point as being at 7, 10. Now, if I look up here at these ones I've got here, and if I wanted to plot them, this is how I would do it. So my purple one is at 0, 3. So remember, along the corridor and then up the stairs. So find 0 on my x and then track up to 3 on my y. So actually 0, 3 would be plotted just there. And it's actually on the line because that line and that line, they are 0. I'm going to plot this green one now. It's 11, 6. So 11 is my x, my along the corridor number, and 6 is my y-axis, my up the stairs number. So first of all, find 11, starting out on this bottom line, find 11 and track up until it meets 6 on the y. And then on that place where they meet, that's where I put my point. So that is how to read and plot coordinates on a 1 quadrant grid. And when you do your activity, you may choose to just pick a 1 quadrant to keep things a little bit easier. For more of a challenge, you can work in 4 quadrants. And this means that you've got 4 sections, 4 grids, and you've got an x and a y still, so the x goes this way, the y goes that way in exactly the same way, but now they cross over at 0 in the centre because you've got positive numbers and negative numbers, which does make it a little bit harder. Let's do some together before you have a go. So I'm going to look at my purple spot again. Okay, and I'm going to track where it is. Now, I'm always going to look on the x first. It's still along the corridor and up the stairs, but I might go down the stairs this time. Okay, so along and then up or down, x and then y. You can also remember because x comes before y in the alphabet, so your x is the first one. So if I'm looking at purple, I'm going to find where it is on x first. So it hits 2 on my x. And then check where it is on y, -3. Remember to put your minus, otherwise it will be a completely different point. Okay, let's take a look at brown. So on my x-axis, where does brown fall? It's actually on this line, so it's falling at 0. And then where is it on the y? That's very clear to see. So that's 6. Okay, and lastly for reading then, my orangey yellowy point. Look at it and track. I'm going this line first, the x-axis first. -3. And -2. Okay, so -3, -2. Now if I try to plot some of these points that I've got up here, let's show you how to do that. So 3, 5, that's keeping it quite simple because it's not going to come out of the positive quadrant. Remember x first. 3, 3, and then 5. Okay, 3 on the x, 5 on the y. For green, I'm going to start at -5 for my x. So follow my x-axis to -5. And then the y is 2. So I'm going to go up and plot my point where the two meet. Then lastly, if I get a blue splodge, -3 and 0. So on the x-axis, find -3. And then y is 0. So actually I stay on this line. I'm not going up or down because the line is 0. So on -3 and then 0. And that's how you plot. Okay, so you can choose from a Christmas tree coordinates, which will be just in one quadrant, or the Santa coordinates, which will be a little bit harder because it's across 4 quadrants. I'd love to see your finished product. So good luck and have fun with it.